because you do so many things. I mean, even after just seeing and hearing a lot about you online and just over the years, you do so many things to try and fine tune yourself, right? Is that a safe way to say that?
Yeah, and I have certain fundamentals that I want to cover, but every time you enter an audience and you got 15,000 people, and you got to hold them for 12 hours a day for 5 or 6 days when they wouldn't usually sit for, a 30-minute, video or 3-hour movie. So you got to really be able to adapt and feel what's there, just like you, and adapt. And it's got to be funny. I mean, if all you do is get up and talk for 12 hours, you want to kill yourself, right? So you got to make people laugh. You got to move them. You got to produce all those things because, time is so relative. Like, how long is a long time? Some people think, 1,000 years. Some people think 2 minutes, right? So a long time is when you're not enjoying yourself. A minute feels like eternity. When you're
it's the worst,
but if you're fully engaged and you're enjoying everything, like 12 hours goes like that.
Yeah.
So it's fun to see the impact you can have with people when you're willing to adapt. If it was the same every time, also, I'd be bored out of my mind. Just like
at your live events, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely remarkable. I think I was thinking about like tuning, like more just like in your regular life and like your being ready for the day. Like,
yes.
What is that tuning like for you? Because that's a constant, like that's always evolving. Like every couple of months now we hear about some new thing or some new method or somebody's, people are hiding underground for 2 hours or whatever. People are, there's people like who, won't let their shadow outside for a month and it's supposed to help them process lymph or whatever, So there's so many things. And what are some things that you do or that really make you feel like that didn't feel like snake oil kind of, Yeah,
well, some things I do I've been doing for like 20 years. Like, I start every day in a cold plunge. Yeah. Now it's very popular, ice bath and so forth. But there's never a day I look forward to it, Theo. I don't wake up and go, I can't wait to freeze my ass off. But to me, it's a discipline. It's like training my mind. Besides the physical benefit, it doesn't feel good when you go in, but you feel amazing coming out.
Yeah,
because your entire body gets flooded, right? Your
yeah.
lymph, your blood moves. But going in, it's like, I don't negotiate with myself. I don't go, let me see if I'm ready. It's like, I've trained my brain. I say, go, we go. And my home in Sun Valley, I walk through the snow and get in the river.
Yeah.
And that's like, 41 degrees. And I mean, it's intense, but when you train your brain that when I say go, no negotiation, then that shows up in every other part of your life. So I do that. I work out every day, obviously. I do a 10-minute process. It's not really a meditation because I'm not good at not thinking, and I don't know many people are that have no thoughts. But I do a way to kind of condition my nervous system and my mind. It's really simple. I do these 3 pieces, 3 minutes each. It's only 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. So if I said 20 minutes, people say I don't have time. But if you don't have 10 minutes for your life, you don't have a life, right? Yeah. So I just do 3 minutes of what are the emotions that mess people up in their relationship or their business. It's usually anger or fear, some derivative of those two. So the antidote to those is gratitude. You can't be angry and grateful simultaneously.
Right.
You can't be fearful and grateful simultaneously. So I train my nervous system by starting every morning. I do this process to change my body. It's a breathing process. And then I think of one at a time, a minute each. I see and feel something in my life that I'm really grateful for. Wow. I do little things and big things. So you don't have to have a giant thing to be grateful.
Yeah.
And it's real. It's not like I'm seeing it over there. It's like I'm experiencing it. So it changes your biochemistry.
So when you say experiencing it, not to interrupt you.
Yeah, no, go for it. Interrupt me as much as you want. Please.
But no, I just want, because I'll forget what the question is. That's the only reason. It's like a desperation heave. Yeah. So in that moment, because I know what you're talking about, I'll make a gratitude list, right? But sometimes it's like I'm just writing the things down and there's no real connection inside of
that
me.
Won't do much.
And
right?
I know it won't do it. It's like, I know this isn't going to help. At least I'm doing the practice.
That's
but
nice.
I know it's not going to have I can tell even right now it's not going to help me that much. Yeah. So what are you saying that I'm
saying I close my eyes and sometimes if I said think of a time when you rode a roller coaster and you remembered over there, like see it over there, that's called disassociated. But if I get you to imagine being in the front seat, and you might tell me, it's pretty interesting. But if I get you to go back to actually the moment when you're coming over the edge, and then, you see even right now, you can see, So that's what I do with the gratitude. I get in my body as if I was then, see it and feel it and experience it. And that creates a biochemical change in your body as opposed to a thought. A thought's not enough, right?
Yeah.
So you do 3 of those, and then I have 3 minutes of kind of a cleansing of my body that I do mentally and a kind of a prayer for others. And then I do 3 minutes of what I call, 3 to thrive. I think of 3 things I want to make happen, outcomes, results, and I don't sit there and beg for them or pray for them. I see them as done. I feel them. I celebrate them as done because when your subconscious mind believes it's done, it makes it happen. So it's kind of programming it. And the whole thing only takes 10 minutes. If anybody wants to do it, they can go to TonyRobbins.com/priming. There's no cost for it and it shows you how to do it. But we do it with, 20,000 people in a stadium.
Yeah.
And the energy that you have at the end, that's amazing. Because otherwise you wake up and what do you have? The first thing is your phone. And your phone has a mixture of things. Really, if you have, like you do, a lot of responsibilities in companies and things, I look at that thing, it's like, you're not in control of your life. So I set my life first. I prime. What I mean by priming is a psychological principle. A lot of times when people, Theo, think something, they think, oh, that's my thought. But it's been primed by something in the environment. Like I'll give you an interesting study. They did this at Harvard. They took men and women, trained them as actors. They went out and did this very simple thing. They would go out to people and have a cup of coffee, and they rehearse doing it the exact way every time. And they walk up to you.
And these are actors doing it.
Yeah, they're doing it. The mall or someplace else, they see you sitting there and they go, excuse me, or university campus, and they're holding the coffee. And they go, could you hold this for a second? And they don't ask. They put it in your hand, and they look down. So 90% of people take it. And they reach in their pocket, did something with their phone. Thanks so much. That's it. And walk away. Well, half those people they did that with had hot coffee. The other half had cold iced coffee. So then 15 minutes later, approximately 15 to 20 minutes later, somebody comes by and they have this little sheet, this clipboard, and they say, hey, I've got $20 if you'll give me 60 seconds of your time. Would you take 20 seconds to read this little paragraph of a story and then tell me afterwards, I have 2 questions. So they read the story and they say, okay, tell me, what was this person like? How would you describe this character? Well,
the person the coffee person, you mean?
No, they don't remember that
the
person.
story,
It's been gone.
from the story.
Now it's a new person.
Okay.
$20. Most people do it. $20 for a minute. Okay, I'll do it. Some people say, I don't need the $20. I'll just answer your question.
Oh, God.
They read this little story. It's
Fancy.
the same story for everybody.
Yeah.
And then they asked them afterwards, how would you describe the main character? The people that got hot coffee, 81% of them say the person is warm and generous. When they give them the iced coffee, they don't even know it affected them. 80%, 1% difference is variable, will say the person is cold or uncaring.
No way.
Same
Is that
story.
true?
That's absolutely true.
Oh my gosh.
You can do it. You can do this with creativity. If I said to you, if I talk to an audience, I'll say, make the sound of what you think of when you think of Microsoft, and you get, make the sound of Apple, right? That's $1 trillion difference in people's response. So they've done creativity tests. Well, they have people watch a 30-second Apple commercial, or just look at the Apple logo, and then look at an IBM commercial or an IBM logo. 20% higher score on a creativity test they take right after that for those who just looked at the Apple commercial. That's it. So we can be influenced so powerfully. So I decide I want to advertise in my own mind. I'm not going to have somebody else take control. And so I prime myself every day. I prime my brain so it's in a grateful state. It's an anticipatory state. It's a moving state. Because otherwise, you get whatever you feel like. And I don't know about you. There are days I wake up and I don't know what city I'm in.
Oh, yeah.
My body's gone. I've got 3 hours sleep on a different time zone. So if I didn't reset, then it'd be fake. I'd be getting up trying to talk to people. And I'm not real. You can't move people if you're not moved. You can't touch people if you're not touched. You can't make people laugh if it doesn't make you laugh, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's really true.
So I try to make sure I'm in that place every single day. And then when you do it every day, it trains your nervous system to look for things to be grateful for.
Right.
Then your mind starts to become conditioned. Because most people...
Is that true?
That's absolutely true. If you don't... They're just habits, right? So if you don't use your mind will use you. It's like technology, right? If you use technology to do amazing things, or you can let your technology start using you where your whole life is controlled by it.
You can be gambling on your phone even.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's just, you could be doing anything. God, it's upsetting. I mean, I've been obviously, I have blockers on my phone now because obviously I can't, whatever. But